Remember, they're changing my voice and my speech patterns because I am superior and they are jealous. Before I get into occultists, I'd like to remind you that there are countless people from every one of these groups that is harassing me and trying to make me look bad because of my culture. So I'm sure we can all agree that it is more than fair for me to fire back at these people because they are persecuting me for being morally precise and showing them up why they're pure evil, because they're trying to impress airhead chicks who don't have heart. I was right to explain why the eugenicists, why the rich person, especially the rich English person who tries to present himself as superior, like the word celebrity, Brit-E, where masonry comes from, their James Bond gimmicks, Sherlock Holmes, Robin Hood, King Richard games they play. I'm right to emphasize why they are inferior to me. All the LGBT people, so many of them, hundreds of them every day, running a psyop on me, different ones are involved. I'm right to explain their failure. Attractive females shunning me, I'm right to explain their failure. The Jewish community, all the Jews, liberals, conservatives, all from different walks of life, they came together to persecute me. I'm right to explain why I'm superior, why they're representing their cultures and trying to seem superior to me. The Bible says to put a lamp on its stand and let your good deeds shine before others to glorify God, and they seek to cover up the deeds, my righteous deeds, my morally precise deeds, so they can pretend that nerds in the other groups that I'm going to mention this series, in every group in society, okay, that is allowed to have members that look good, every group that's allowed to be left alone, as members that are left alone, so they can pretend that they're superior to moral precision. That is sick. Occultists have made it so that if I was to wear my martial art outfit in public, people would act funny. If you go in there dressed like a goth or an emo or any other commonly satanic figure, you basically fit into that store. Metallica shirts, you name it. But if I dress in a way that reflects discipline and holiness, magically, it's not okay to these people, to the society at large, because occult means hidden. It is the hidden evil in every culture that is allowed, every culture that has members that aren't persecuted. Occultists are like the essence of what is wrong, like the rich. So you see occultists like Aleister Crowley, called the evilest man alive. Well, if I had a daughter, he wouldn't be good enough for her. Just like H.P. Lovecraft and Marilyn Manson and other people whose behavior reflects being an occultist. By an occultist, I don't only mean people who are self-proclaimed occultists. I mean everybody who dresses in a way that is an occult. I also mean college societies, social clubs, intelligence agencies, law enforcement, military, because they do things behind the scenes for the deep state. The deep state, like Sidney Gottlieb, who was known as the dirty trickster and the dark sorcerer. People who don't have the heart to walk in the light. They want to hide their character from people. To some degree, I mean everyone else on the planet, but my parents are blameless because they seek to hide from God, like the cowardly rich in the Bible in Revelation, who said to the hills and the mountains to fall on them and cover them from the wrath of God. Occultists are cowardly. They're known to be skinny like rockers. They're known to be fat and out of shape like some Satanists, and some WWF wrestlers. They're known to have spite in their heart for martial arts and mocking martial arts. Some of them are so-called martial artists, but they don't really have character. They deal in illusion. They paint their faces. They want to cover things up. Like Cover Girl magazine, right? They cover the girl with some gender-neutral kind of circus sort of theater face paint, like the LGBT people in the theater of old, when males would play females and vice versa. Occultists are extremely childish. They reject the principles of being a man. They're the ones who helped corporations come up with the gender-neutral movements we see and gender-neutral bathrooms, having no respect whatsoever for decency and heterosexuality. Occultists are some of the greatest fools in history. They live their lives as extremely pitiful people who don't understand that it is right to be righteous. And it is being a low life to reject righteousness. They don't understand why someone is better than someone else. Good, better, and great. Not evil, slimy, grimy, low down, dirty, and no good. No good versus good. They'll never understand this. They deal in deceit and illusion. Some are Luciferians, maybe in a sense all of them are. And they argue that to them, that Lucifer, that low down devil, is magically the protagonist of the Bible. All the rapes and murders that he's caused, they don't care. Turning out Eve, right? Like a pedophile turns out a little child. They don't care about that. Many occultists are child molesters, pedophiles. They deal in rape by deception. They want to deceive everybody about what they should do. They cause the phrase sex, drugs, and rock and roll to come to be. So you want people on drugs so they can't consent, listening to some music that makes them less focused, and then have reckless sex. And many of them become homeless and drug addicts on the streets. Not a speck of sense, not a speck of heart. Need I go on and explain more why an occultist couldn't possibly be ideal? That rules out all celebrities. Because in order to be a celebrity on this planet, one has to be approved by the occult, which makes them a trickle-down occult, sniveling, whimpering little bitch. Since when do women not understand that a gender-neutral coward or some kind of sissy crying toxic masculinity, when he sings focused moral intensity and tries to point to the conservative to confuse the issue? Since when do women not understand, do females not understand that that's a bitch-ass motherfucker, afraid to man up? The most important time in history, when mind control technologies are extreme, when technologies of control are extreme thanks to nerds, did they man up? Or did they go out like occult sniveling bitches, bending their kids over, their little daughters, in a society where 1 in 4 little girls is sexually molested? Those who play stupid about the occult and its influence over all the cultures, especially theirs, may as well bend over themselves. 1 in 4 little girls in their family, in their greater family, in their greater network, their friend's family, and 1 in 6 little boys. Truly, I tell you, no female that ever lived would ever dream of dating a punk-ass bitch like that. Only silly, occult-influenced little sluts without a speck of heart. And do you think they would marry these types of people? No. A conformist, in a sense, is an occultist. And he's certainly a bitch. Thank you.